Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, whatever it is you're listening to this. Welcome. It is Wednesday, 5:10 p.m. If you're getting this, you are part of the 23 participants of the City Life Group Leaders of City Life Church. So excited you guys are here. I want to give a quick, little brief intro to the semester. You guys have been doing this the past two terms, a couple newbies, so we'll run over a couple old things quickly. But also just the big thing, I want to look at a calendar is going. So if you're new and you have no clue what website you're looking at here with all this info, messages, calendar stuff, ask your other leader who's working with you, and they'll explain everything you need to know. And if you still have any questions that they didn't answer fully, then you can ask Chris. And if he can't do it, then you just have to go to God. I'm kidding. You can talk to me. Don't talk to Chris. I'll get fired. Please don't do that. But you should figure it out. Your leader should tell you everything you need to know. This is the calendar part where we see. So today is Wednesday the 17th. Of January, and so I'm going to give you a quick little follow through. So let me give you a couple of these pages coming up are going to be lively, a lot of stuff on it. Stay with me, stay with the mouse here. Let me show you what's going on. So this Sunday, so we're here 21st, we'll be having our expo. We'll just be doing one, this will be a little tricky here because we'll have one service during this one, so we'll do it just like normal after service. Come, stand by the map. Again, I don't need all of you standing by the map, just a handful of you. The rest of you, I need work in the crowd. Hey, if you got in a group, hey, did you sign up for a group? I know it feels awkward. I know it feels weird. Interrupt people's conversations, especially people you know, your friends, especially ones maybe you know don't want to go to a group. Please still encourage them. It's so important. If you people don't realize that, then I'm in trouble. So that'll be going on. The expo you see going on the 21st as well as the 28th. It was going to happen on the 14th, but then your boy here decided to get a little pneumonia and crap out on you. So my bad. So 2 weeks of the expo, we'll do that. The 28th will be a little bit different because we're having two services. So I'll need a few of you to be there after the 9 o'clock service, and then a few of you to be there after the 10:45 service. So, and if you don't know, our two service times will be 9 o'clock and 10:45. So we'll go from 9 to 10:15, have a 30-minute break from 10:15 to 10:45, and then 10:45 until noon, and then go from there. So we'll send out an email to make sure we have at least a couple of you guys there with me to make sure we can cover both services, but should be pretty simple. So what we're doing, starting on the 28th, we'll be starting a series in church called Soundtrack. So Soundtrack is a series talking about what would it be like if you didn't have a soundtrack on movies. If you just listen to a movie with just people talking and there's no background music, it's super duper awkward and weird. You should try it out sometime. And it's just strange and sucks, honestly. And the same thing with life and emotions. Emotions is almost like the soundtrack of our lives. And Psalms talks a lot about emotions, talks about a lot of things, but also a lot about emotions. And kind of the main thing that we're going with is the secular, non-believing world says to obey your emotions. If you feel like you're a girl, although you're born a guy, then you can be a girl. If you feel like you have attraction to this, if you feel angry because this, go ahead and just do what you want to do. Like, you know, be honest, be real, be authentic. And if your emotions say X, then X is okay for you. That's your truth. As long as you just don't get rid of me having my truth over here. So obey your emotions. The religious kind of traditional, stereotypical Christian world, which we would not call Christian, right? But the world does, would say to deny your emotions, right? You feel lustful sexual desires. That's evil. Deny that. You feel like you're not doing a good job. Just deny that God loves you. Like, ignore your feelings. These are not right. You have these doubts. You're concerned. You don't know what to do. You're feeling doubt. Well, ignore that. That's the opposite of faith. Don't do that. And that's how kind of the religious right, I guess, if you will, talks about feelings. We want to say that the book of Psalms doesn't say to ignore your feelings. It doesn't say to obey your feelings. It says to submit those feelings to God in prayer. And that's what you see the book of Psalms do. All the psalmists in the book of Psalms is taking their emotions to the throne of God and working them out with him, with gospel truths. And so that's what we're going to look at. We're going to do 5 weeks of this in Psalms. And so the first week is actually going to start on Sunday the 28th. So we have one Sunday group, so your group will get a quick start here. And the first psalm you see is Psalm 3. So Chris will do an intro, talk about Psalms 3, and then also talk about fear. And then the rest of you guys, starting on, I guess, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, will be hitting this as well, okay? So that'll be the first one. I got as much info as I could for you. You'll see the next week, Super Bowl Sunday, the 22nd, the 4th, we're talking about Psalms 22 and pain and suffering. And so that'll be what the theme for this week. That's actually going to change, so you can, well, it's up in the air. Right now we have 139. G will be preaching this Sunday, and G is trying to get his head around what's going on. He also just found out a couple days ago we were doing this, so give us some grace. So Chris has it all figured out, but I'm doing this one down here. We don't know yet. So you go to Psalm there, and there'll be emotion there. And then the week of the 18th, Chris come back again, talk about Psalm 73 and about your doubts and how you deal with all those types of things, and that'll be that week. And then it's going to end on the week of February 25th. I'll be preaching that week on something, I'm thinking maybe about joy and taking that emotion. How do you parse that? And that'll be the last lesson that we provide for you. But we're asking you to do 6 weeks. If you count good here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you still have one more week left. And this is where you have to stay with my mouse. So stay with me here, okay? So this is where March. So here's March, the first week of March, full week of March. You see here the whole month, it says City Life Group Free for All. So we have nothing planned group-wise at all anywhere for the church. So you're free to do what you want. I am asking you, however, this week, please, if not this week, then for sure this week of the 11th, do either a social or do a service project, even better, or even if you wanted to keep going right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and do 4 more weeks of Psalms and keep going because you're really liking it, or if you want to study a book together, or if you just want to go do something fun for 4 weeks in a row, I could care less. It's free for all. You guys choose what you do, but at least one of these first 2 weeks, make it actually really the week of the 4th would be honestly the best, because we're promising the church, hey, 6 weeks is a term, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So this week gives us a 6 week. Just for sermon wise, we couldn't take Psalms into this week. Long story, you don't care. So please do 1 more week of a social, of a service project, or if you want to study another Psalm that you come up with on your own, knock yourself out, or another study, please feel free to do that. I also want to show what's going on and why this is our last 6 weeks term. I know we've talked about this, but just to remind you guys. So after March, April 1st is April Fool's, yes. It's also Easter Sunday. And so April 1st, we'll be starting affinity groups. So that's why we're not doing groups in March. So we kind of have March to kind of reload some group stuff and get some things organized. And then starting in April 1st, affinity groups are going to start. And that's a whole long mess, but they're basically crazy different than City Life groups. City Life groups are, hey, let's all come together. Let's be unified as a church between the sermon, between groups, between starter. Let's all do the same thing. Affinity just turns that on its head and says, maybe you have an affinity for golf, you have an affinity for working out, maybe you have an affinity for drinking beer, whatever it might be. Maybe you want to get all girls group, maybe you want to get a mom's group or a single this group or a doctor's group, whatever it might be, whatever your shtick is, whatever your affinity is. That's going to start here and go all the way until August. We'll start up again with City Life groups, but I'll explain all that later, but just give you an idea. So this is the last 6 week term. So when you're signing up to do this one, which is going to be, right, starting January 28th through this 25th week right here, this is the last term you're signing up for. So you're not on the hook. You don't have to do an affinity group. You have to know the City Life group. We'll talk again come August what we're going to do. We're not 100% sure we'll do City Life groups again, but we probably will. But anyway, that's what's going on. So here's the calendar. It's NCCB. If you need a refreshing of that, hopefully it's all right there and you can see it. Last thing, I'm going to email you all or put it on CCB probably, which will then email to you a PDF, which you'll see here. This is our City Life group launch meeting / training. And this is the student version. And so what I want you to do here for me, please, pretty please, just between you and the Holy Spirit, take you 10 minutes, not that long. I want you to go here and if you're a new person, just do your best. It's okay. If you've been a group leader before, you've seen this page before, I want to see how good you guys can just do it on your own. So go through and just say, okay, what are we doing? We are to blank your City Life group by being a blank. Why are we doing it? Because we're trying to build blank and discover blank. How are we doing City Life groups? By blank and then blank. Okay. What are we expected to do? 1, be at your weekly City Life group, blank your weekly group at a blank priority, right? 2, I kind of gather their account. Keep blank, turn it in every month. Hopefully that's an easy one for you. So kind of go through, fill in the blanks real quick, just see how good you can do, and then just kind of see. And then when you're done, you can check yourself to see how right you are. You got all the section 4, section 5, there's no blanks. I won't show it to you. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, yep, right there, page 2 is going to be all the answers. So I'll do that. Okay, there's the answers. Okay, hope you get to see that real fast. So all the colors, right there. There's the colors. You can go back through and you can check yourself. See how many you got right. See how many you got wrong. Post it on a form and say, hey, Randy, I suck. I got every single one wrong. Or, hey, you know what? I'm a bad man, bad woman. I got every single one right. I'm awesome. Yay, we'll praise you no matter what you do. Your performance, right, is not a prerequisite to a relationship with God. He loves you no matter how good you can fill in these blanks. But it's been interesting for me to see how well you guys know this or how well you don't know this. Again, if you're a new person, I don't expect you to get any of these correct, but if you do, that's just awesome for that. But if you've been around for a while, I kind of hope that you get some of these right, but if you don't, it's okay, guys. I know you'll have a lot else going on. I'm just curious. So please, you performance people, don't stress out about it. Please, you non-performance people, don't just be lazy. Actually try a little bit and see how y'all can do. So do that, and then I just want to know how you did. So I'll follow up with you. But that's it. We're going to launch into this. You guys should know what we're doing. You should have a good idea of it. Again, you can read through this. So once you're done filling your blanks, it would be super helpful to read through page 2 of this with all the answers down here. Okay, it should be super helpful for you to go through and just read that and remember what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it, the what, why, and how of City Life Group. So hopefully that's a good reminder for you. But the big thing, guys, is we want to honor God and make disciples. We want to make them Christ-centered. We want to make them Spirit-empowered. and socially responsible. So make sure the Christ-centered thing, right, is why you do what you do or why you don't do. Where's your worship? That's the Christ-centered. Okay, why did you do that? Why do you not do that? If you really get down to it, that whatever the answer to that is, that's your God. Let's hope to God it's Christ is the answer to that question. Okay, and then Spirit empowered is how, right? How do I go about doing this? Do I do it in my own strength, or do I actually depend upon God to help empower me? Do I ask for the Holy Spirit to immerse me, to give me gifts, to do that kind of stuff? But also now what do we do with all that is we go and be social responsible. We help make disciples with other people. So again, don't forget what we've been doing this whole past semester from August through to December. We're talking about CSS, and our vision as a church is we want to produce Christ-centered, Spirit-empowered, and socially responsible disciples, and we want to be that. And City Life Groups is one, not all, one way of hoping that. So I hope that you guys can help us to accomplish that. Please, please, please honor this commitment of leadership by taking a minute and actually filling in these blanks and actually reading through the answers. Please don't skip ahead and cheat. It's not worth it. It's dumb. You're not going to get graded on this. I just want to know how you do, okay? So please just take some time and do that. We're not going to meet and have a training session. You're just going to take 10 minutes and go through this, fill in the blank, and then 5 minutes to read through the answers. So that'd be super helpful for me. Let me know. If you have any questions, anything like that, just let me know how I can help you. And we'll be talking. And my goal this term is to do a really good job communicating. I'm going to give you guys my best shot. So any other questions, let me know. If not, let's get to work. Love you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.